Hi, it's Stuart Sutton at 1 Acre Plus Homes. We're going to talk about North Lake in this very short video. North Lake is just west of Georgetown and consists of homes on small acreage. North Lake did well despite the very fast changing market, but there's some pretty big surprises for North Lake homeowners and buyers. Let's take a look, show you what I mean. Now, a lot of people want to know how their area performed year over year, and that's actually pretty normal. However, last year, 22, was so odd, so unique that we're going to show you, well, a little more than just year over year in this video. Let's take a look at how North Lake home sales did in 22 overall first. We're going to take a look at the number of sales, which remained unchanged. You see about the same number of home sales in North Lake every year. Now, give or take a few, of course, but it doesn't vary dramatically, and it didn't in 22 either. So the number of days on the market, how long did it take to sell a home in North Lake in 22 compared to 21? Well, it took 250% longer. 22 days. Well, 22 days is extraordinary. Remember, the normal time for a home on an acre or more can be 100 days or more, and that's in a typical market. So even though the market started changing very quickly in 22, the overall stats still look very impressive. 22 days is extraordinary as a year-long average. The list to sell ratio, that measures what a seller's asking for their home and what the contract closes at. So list to sale. So that fell about 3.72%, but still over 100%. How could it fall that much and still be over 100%? Well, because it was way over that in 21. So 22 compared to 21, the list to sell ratio fell about, well, nearly 4%. Let's take a look at the average price. Everyone is thinking, well, prices are dropping, prices are dropping, prices are dropping. Well, as my wife likes to tell me sometimes, that's just something you think. The average price up about 6.41%. So even though we saw a very fast changing, shifting market, the average price was still up compared to 21. So let's take a look at what I'm calling the tale of two real estate markets. So in the year 22, we actually saw two very different situations in the entire market and in North Lake specifically. And that's because 22 started off with that frenzied, super blistering hot real estate market, and then it shifted downward, and that shift took us to where we are today. So let's take a look at what happened. And this is pretty distinct. Before July the 1st, the list to sell ratio, remember, what a seller's asking versus what they close at. What's that price differential? Before July 1st, the average home in North Lake sold 7% above asking price. After July the 1st, 95% of asking price. I want you to actually calculate that real quick. Do that mentally. I'm going to do it for you, so maybe you don't need to do it mentally, but that's about 12%. That's a huge chunk. That's not price oriented, that's just negotiating oriented. So North Lake home sellers pocketed 12% less just through negotiation after July the 1st. Let's take a look at the days on market. Before July the 1st, it took an average of 6 days to sell a home in North Lake. After July the 1st, the average just kept going up and ended up as an average at 51. Now remember, the overall average was 22, but when you look at the two distinct and separate markets we saw in 22, 6 days, blistering hot market, normalizing, and I think that 51 is going to continue to go up because, as I've said before, the average days on market for 1 acre plus homes can be over 100 and usually maintains over 100, has year after year after year. Sometimes it'll drop maybe to 89 or something like that, but that's pretty normal. The 1 acre plus market is very different than the subdivision market. Now, this is a stat you don't see very often. I calculate this because I think it's important with the shifting market that we're seeing. How much price change has to happen in order to get a home sold? Well, before July the 1st, the price changes for homes on the market was pretty much zero, very negligible, 0.25%. And in some areas, you saw zero. There was no price change. However, after July the 1st, Before homes sold, the average price change, the average price reduction to get a home sold was 11%. So think about that. I'm just going to throw out a number. Let's just say 750,000. Well, what's 11% of 750,000? Well, it's 82.5. That's a pretty big price drop. And here's kind of an example. We saw price drops in the last half of the year in Northlake of 50,000, 150,000, 190,000. So sellers were basically lowering their prices in order to get their homes sold. Two different markets in Northlake in 22. The market that we're in is still a good market. In 22, we saw 3 homes sell over 900,000 in Northlake. 2 of those were over $1 million. Now we also saw 3 homes sell under 500,000 in Northlake. One of the abnormalities of Northlake is simply this. It's got the widest range of prices of just about any area in the Georgetown real estate market. And very simply, from well under 500, the lowest sale was around 280, to nearly $1.5 million. That's a huge price range. That's a huge differential. And you don't see that in many neighborhoods. Actually, that's one of the reasons people like Northlake, is because of the variety of housing. And it allows things like workshops and horses and goats and chickens and things like that. So the bottom line is that Northlake is doing quite well at this time. Now, compared to the frenzy super hot market, the stats wouldn't make you think it was doing well, but it is doing very well. As a matter of fact, when you compare it to years like 16, 17, 18, 19, which everyone thought were great real estate years, we're better than those. We are at this very moment performing better than what everyone thought were really good real estate years. So we're in a good position. If you own a home in Northlake, you're in a good position. If you want to buy a home in Northlake, you're in a good position. Pretty much everybody is sitting well right now when it comes to Northlake real estate. If you'd like more information on Northlake itself, take a look at cnorthlakehomes.com, just like it's written below. And I did add a video right here for you. This is the stats for the overall 1 acre plus market. If you're interested in that, take a look, and I hope to see you there.